so that you are ready for doing everything you can for the rest of high school. So I know this is a 9th and 10th grade presentation, and we're talking about not only the classes you've got for next year, but what can you do with your high school experience to maximize not just your courses, but the whole thing to give you a well-rounded picture of high school for whatever your goals are for life after high school. So we're planning ahead here. So the goal, again, is to identify opportunities to enhance and personalize your learning and create a course plan that gets you ready for your life after high school. Those are our learning targets for today. Just a reminder, since you are picking classes for next year and the years after, this is what we recommend in terms of taking classes. So the entire CHS curriculum is a college prep curriculum. But just to cover the bases, you need 4 years of English, 2 to 3 years of science, 4 years of math, at least through Algebra 2, 3.5 of social, 3 years of the same world language. So as you can see, again, everything we require for graduation is going to get you prepared for college. The only thing that's additional to that is world language. And then if you want to go to the more competitive schools, you got to step it up a little bit more math, a little bit more science, a little bit more social studies, and also with the world language. Some of that is college dependent, but that's kind of the gist of what you're doing when you're planning for life after high school, and if you're planning to go to college, what you want to be looking at in terms of your courses. Cool.
Okay, so this is a copy of what we call your transcript, and this is where your year-end grades will end up on this transcript, and this is what will go out to colleges if we ever have an employer who asks, or the military. But this is what you will have documenting all your grades, and at the bottom you'll see there's a cumulative GPA. So the cool part is that it literally is your year-end grade. So if any of you are not loving either your transcript up to now, like if you're a sophomore and you're like, oh, my freshman year grades were not what I wanted, there's opportunity to turn that around. And for those of you who are freshmen, if you don't love like the T-Rev, that, you know, your T-Rev grade, if you have until the end of the year to bring that up, and that'll be what will go on your transcript at the end. Same with you in American Experience. So this is what the transcript looks like, and it gives you really truly an opportunity to right now to turn it around. If you don't love it, if you're doing well, keep going with it. And this will be what we'll send out to colleges and other places eventually. And we just want to remind students that the choices you make now impact you during and after high school. So some things that you may not realize, and we just want to make sure we put this out there. So for high school implications, there are many prerequisites for courses. So say you want to get into AP Calc or AP Physics, like you want to make sure that you're taking the classes to get to that level. The other thing is, in order to be in AP Physics, you need to be in AP Calc. So making sure that you're looking at science, and math together and taking what you need. If you know that you want to do band or chorus or maybe tech later on, like making sure you're getting the electives in, that you know, doing the classes now to plan for those electives later on. And if you want study halls as a senior, if you want a couple study halls or even junior year or next year, just making sure that you're taking what you can now to kind of plan ahead for that. And one of the cool things is that your grades, you may not realize it, but your grades can actually pay off for you in many different ways. So Subaru and Hyundai give away a car every year. And I think we've had, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Hall or Ms. Miranda, I think we've had 2 or 3 students actually win the car. It's literally a new car you win, and it's based on the number of A's you have on your report card, and then you give it to them, and they put points in based on the A's, and that's how you can actually get to win a new car. So, and it is definitely possible, and think about the money you would save. Car insurance, you also get 10% off car insurance for most companies. So if your grade's a B average or higher, that could give you about 10% at least off your car insurance, which is a big deal for you, especially as high schoolers. And National Honor Society, if any of you are interested in trying to make it in National Honor Society, you need a 3.8 GPA for that. So again, the thinking about down the road, and NHS is actually halfway through your junior year is when you would be invited to be part of NHS, or during your junior year. Cool. Mr. Hall, head back one slide there. Yep, perfect. Okay, some more implications just to think about. Even so, that was high school. Now for college implications even for after high school. So a lot of colleges have specific grade GPAs that they're looking for to be able to get in. And so just want to make sure that the grade, if you're doing everything you can right now and you're getting the max, the grades that the maximum grades you can earn, that's awesome. But if you know that there's more you can be doing, that whatever you can do to get those grades up to really showing what you're capable of and your intelligence and your aptitude and your effort. And because a lot of times that'll impact college choices later on. And there's always colleges for everyone, but it gives you more choices if you're really maxing out how you're doing. A few other things thinking ahead, because say you want to get into, we had a student a few years ago wanted to get into UConn, and she was like almost towards the top of her class. She was doing amazing, but she had not taken physics and she wanted to go into nursing. And literally they were not going to accept her, even though she had, she was such a strong student because she didn't have physics. So thinking ahead just to make sure you're taking the classes you need for majors. And we love to help you in guidance to be able to help you kind of plan ahead. And other things, if you're looking at engineering or nursing or business, just making sure that your math and science grades are really strong. And again, thinking ahead to not just right now, but the after high school as well. And a lot of colleges will give money for your grades. So the higher your grades, the higher the GPA. A lot of times they'll have certain levels for financial aid. And Mr. Hall, do you want to share your example real quick about Dylan?
Yeah, so my own son, right, he did well at CHS, but we always had the fight that between A minuses, A's, and A pluses. For him, an A was an A, and it didn't matter if it was an A minus or an A plus. An A counted as an A. But in terms of calculating your GPA, there's a big difference between an A plus and an A minus. And so he got his first college admission, and he got his merit-based aid, which is pretty common. Usually when you get your admission offer from a college, they usually throw the merit-based, which is based on your grades, financial aid letter with it as well. And he was like, hey, look, I got I don't remember what it was, $20,000, $25,000 a year scholarship. And my wife was like, what's that for? And he's like, I don't know, it's $25,000. And she's like, yeah, but for what? And so he's like, I don't know, who cares? It's $25,000. So she jumps online, looks it up, and it turns out it's based on his GPA. And if his GPA had been just a shade higher, like a couple of those A minuses were A's, it would have gone from $25,000 to $30,000, which $5,000 a year over 4 years, that's $20,000, right? So that's a lot of money. So it actually does matter when it comes to the merit-based aid.
Awesome, thank you. And I think we also want to really point out that that our hope is that you'll be able to really show what you're capable of, and like with effort and everything through your through your grades. But I think also we always are really mindful of making sure that you're taking care of yourself too, so that you're not putting your mental health at the expense of grades. So I think really learning how to balance that. And Ms. Moran will talk more about just what are some strategies for doing well in school, and on our website we have a lot of resources for just taking care of your mental health as well.
Yeah, and a big part of all of that is self-advocacy. So that's really knowing yourself and knowing what you need and how to get it and how to ask for those things. And that's something that we really want folks to work on throughout high school. So part of that is being proactive and standing up for yourself and saying, to your teacher, I'm feeling really stressed out, or I need a little bit more time or help with this assignment. Can you help me out with that? But not waiting till things get too deep in you too overwhelming, but rather asking for help. So reaching out to teachers, using their websites, talking to us counselors for help with organization, or connect. If you don't know how to connect to a teacher, we can help you with that. Attending office hours, but not just sitting by if things are getting too stressful or too difficult. We understand not everybody's going to be going from an A minus to an A plus. For some people, like a solid C is great for where they're at and what's going on in their life. And that's fine. We just want to make sure that you're reaching the highest potential you can reach, and that you're asking for help when you need it. More academic supports at school, peer tutoring 1 day a week during office hours. You can meet with a peer tutor if you're interested in that. See your counselor, and we can tell you more about that. Khan Academy is an online resource that you can use for extra support. It used to be a resource that cost a lot of money, and now a lot of folks are using it for free, and that's a pretty cool thing. You can link your PSAT scores, and I know ninth graders are not there yet, but eventually you can link your PSAT scores to Khan Academy and get some personalized test prep using that. And next year, when hopefully things are a little more normal, we'll have things back rolling like homework club and AT and lit lab. But for now we have things like peer tutoring. We also have the math lab. The math lab is something that you can schedule Zoom meetings using as well.
And the way you do that, just in case any of you do need math help, is email Mr. Thompson. He's a gentleman who right as you walk in the building in the mornings, he's taking temperatures if you come in a little bit late. So he's the person, he'll set up Zoom meetings with students to help you with math. You just need to email him and he's awesome.
All right, and then planning ahead, using this home-based registration time that folks have had to plan ahead, thinking about, you know, in the program of studies, what are the classes that I'm interested in? What is it that I want to take? Okay, so I'm interested in pre-calc. What do I need to get in Algebra 2 to be able to take pre-calc, and understanding what that process looks like? And then seeing your counselor with questions. Here comes that advocacy part again, self-advocacy. If you don't understand something, that's fine. We're all learning. We're all figuring things out as we go in this wild, wild world. Ask for help. We're people that can help. Talk to teachers in their areas of expertise and their interests. What are their advice? What do they think when it comes to classes that you should take? You have a lot of folks around you that are willing to help and that have a lot of insight. So use those resources and plan ahead. I think, yep.
Off mute, doesn't it? Okay, so one of the things that we're working on is figuring out what you're going to do when you get out of high school, whether that's going to college, going to straight into the workforce or whatever. And even if you're going to college, what is it that you're going to do with your career after college? And so there's a lot of ways to figure that out. And, you know, we do some of that with you through this, through AT, which we will be back to next year, hopefully. Like using some of the resources that we have in Naviance, like the Do What You Are assessment and some of these other interest inventories that help you. But another one is just talk to people, like, you know, talk to friends, family, figure out, like, you know, if you have an aunt who's an accountant, like talk to her about it. Like, hey, do you like being an accountant? What do you do as an accountant? Where did you study to be an accountant? How does that work? Like, just ask people, and it doesn't take much. People are more than happy to tell you about what they do for a living and how they got there. It's as simple as asking the questions, and then people will just give you as much information as you want. It is also helpful to be aware of what's going on in the world and trying to pick a career path if you're not sure what you want to do that looks like it'll be around a while. The world is changing rapidly, and you want to be able to pick a career that looks like it's got some staying power. And I mean, many people change careers over time. I know I have changed careers a couple times in my life, but you want to definitely be looking at things where you know what the trajectory for that career is. And again, just talk. We have a personalized learning plan board on the opposite wall from the guidance door that lists opportunities where you can learn things, do internships, do apprenticeships, all kinds of stuff, shadow experiences. We put everything we can up there, so it gives you a way to explore different opportunities. And then we have a cool class. It's a good class. We love people taking it in their junior year. It's a super great junior year course. Called TIPS, Training Interns Partnering for Success. So most people don't call it TIPS, they call it the internship class. But you learn pre-employment skills, you work on getting, and you use those pre-employment skills to get an internship. It's not like your teacher's gonna say, okay, here's your internship, go. It's like you actually have to go out and get the internship yourself. And then you spend the rest of the course doing that internship. We've had students do it who have changed their life plan pretty dramatically. You know, we've had people thought they knew what they wanted out of life and then gone and done an internship through TIPS and came back and like, you know, it was kind of neat, but I'm not really that interested in, or I had no idea what I was thinking and it's not what I thought it was. And I definitely don't want to do that. Way better than going to college for a few years and finding out later that you don't like it. But we've also had people do internships and going, wow, that was awesome. That is totally what I want out of life. So it's a really great class and a great opportunity. And then, so there are some things, so I know that like TIPS we talked about for junior year and whatever, but there's some stuff you can do right now. There's a couple classes at CCV, like Intro to College and Careers that you can do. And that's free. You don't pay a penny for that one. And then you are eligible in the summer after 10th grade. So if you are in 10th grade now, this summer, you can take a class using a dual enrollment voucher. Dual enrollment is basically taking a college class while you're still in high school. And every high school student gets 2 vouchers to pay the tuition for those classes. So that gives you an opportunity to try out college class and see what you think. There's virtual high school, which is, I know everybody's about sick of online learning with the situation that we're in now, but the virtual high school does have quite literally 200 or more classes that we don't offer at CHS. So it is an opportunity for you to try out different courses that you wouldn't be able to take. L3 or the extended learning course, this is a chance for you to dig into something that you're really interested in. So, when you sign up for CHS classes or even a virtual high school class, the content is determined ahead of time. So you're just saying, oh, maybe I'm interested in oceanography, so I'll take the oceanography, but they tell you what you're studying in oceanography. L3 and extended learning are places where you can say, this is what I'm interested in. I would like to do this and study this and learn about this. And then you go ahead and pursue that under the guidance of a teacher. We're huge fans of volunteering. Volunteering is really valuable for a variety of reasons. First of all, in 9th and 10th grade, you don't have a resume, and many of you don't have a job yet. And so when you go look for your first job, you don't have any experience to put down on an application. Well, if you're volunteering, that's actually work experience. You can use that as work experience. If you go to apply for a job and they say, what work experience do you have? And you say, well, none. Well, that doesn't help you much, right? But if you say, well, I don't have a job, but I do volunteer at the Echo Center downtown, and I've been doing that for the last 6 months, and I go in every Saturday and I work for 4 hours. Like, okay, that's experience, and so you don't rule that out. So that's it's helpful for you in terms of getting a job, but it's also helpful for you for discovering things that you like or don't like. We have for years used this phrase, and we like it a lot. It's like, in terms of figuring out what you're going to do with your life, it's not getting you in the right house. We just want to get you in the right neighborhood. And so you don't have to know exactly what you want to do, but just getting an idea of what you'd like to do would be really helpful. So, and again, volunteering leads you. Yes.
Oh, sorry, I was going to jump in that ICC course at CCV. One of the things, and I'm sorry if you mentioned this, but part of that is to also kind of explore different majors and careers that are out there. So that's just another piece to that class as well for students, in addition to the note taking and study skills and time management and stress management and everything. But it's also, that's a big piece too to the class, which is awesome. Yeah. And it's free, and it doesn't count towards those other 2 classes you get for free.
Yeah, right. It doesn't use one of your vouchers. That's really important. And then lastly, we have our CHS guidance website is quite robust. There's a lot of stuff there that's really helpful. So if you haven't taken any time to cruise through our website, I'd strongly encourage you to do that. There's a lot of information there that's really helpful. Okay, and then of course, you may choose to try out one of our tech centers. So Essex Tech or Burlington Tech are opportunities in your junior and senior year, but also pre-tech at Essex is a 10th grade program. So if you are currently a 9th grader and would like to do a full day tech exploration program, you could do that at Essex Tech next year. You did get an email from Gabby in the front office on January 13th. If you have trouble locating that email, then by all means, please let us know and we'll get that information for you. So if you're currently a 9th grader, you can apply for pre-tech. If you are currently in 10th grade, you can access both Burlington and CTE. You can identify programs you're interested in, apply to both programs. There are virtual visits and application processes that you can do without having to go there face-to-face, which I know is problematic right now. So they've worked around it. There are virtual tours. There's all the information you could possibly ask for. And here's an interesting question, right? So what if I want to go to college? Can I go to tech? And if I want to go to college, yeah, they've actually got some more and more of their tech programs actually have college credits embedded in them. We've got several students who are in the Burlington Tech Health and Medicine Academy that are earning a lot of college credits. and are getting accepted into college programs to pursue the healthcare careers that they're interested in. And that's not just healthcare. It's both Essex and Burlington have embedded college credits in their programs. So lots of opportunities at Tech. It's worth checking out. If you don't know anything about Tech, check it out. There's a lot of cool programs there.
Great. And so some more opportunities that are out there, which are awesome, and just ways to explore different interests, is basically, like, again, lots up in the air for the summer 2021, but we do know that they've put it out. They are going to offer these. They'll be virtual this summer, and Governor's Institute is usually a week or two long, and you really go in depth with what you're interested in, and then meeting students who are also interested. So we have the arts, astronomy, engineering, entrepreneurship, environmental science, global issues and youth action, health and medicine, mathematical sciences, which is a different name now, but and then technology and design. These are just some of the ones. And students who've gone say that they are awesome, and we highly recommend you take advantage of these if you can afford it. And a lot of them have like a sliding scale fee as well. And if you're part of the VSAC program, if any of you happen to qualify either through free and reduced lunch, or neither of your parents graduated from a four-year college, you're eligible for our VSAC program. So come and see us, and they oftentimes may help be able to pay for that as well.
I'm just going to throw in Governor's Institute again, and Ms. Pastore said it, but every single student of ours who's done Governor's Institute has said it was one of the greatest things they've done. My own son did it when he was at CHS and said it was the best learning experience he ever had. And he actually still has friends he met at Governor's Institute. He's 28 now, and they still keep up. So it's a really great program and totally worth checking out.
Awesome. And then another option. So for those of you who are in 10th grade, this summer, you have the opportunity to do the UVM Summer Academy. It counts as 3 college credits, and it also can be, and we'll give you 0.75 credits, but there's 5 different: storytelling with photographs, health and medicine, facing environmental futures, biomedical science and human disease, the drones for environmental mapping, and then introductory neuroscience. Awesome courses. And again, same thing. The students love these and say they are super helpful and very manageable as a high school student, and a great way to do something during your summer to explore what you're interested in and to get some college credit and have fun. And those are online this year.
Is this one me?
Oh. And sorry, one last thing, I think. Sorry, thanks. My computer's about to die, so I'm like, okay, if I blank out. So 4-H options, take a look. We'll send out, it's in the view. All these things are in the view when they come out. So definitely take a look in the view that goes home through Gabby Brooks. These are a bunch of camps that are out there, and you'll have to take a look and kind of click on these and look further, but they're awesome. So again, ways to explore what you might like or what you might not like to do, and get to meet people and have a really cool time.
Coming up, we have something called the College Pathways Conference. It's really geared more towards sophomores and juniors. If I'm incorrect, please let me know, other counselors. But I think 9th graders, if you're interested, go for it, check it out. All these awesome workshops coming up virtually. Usually it's in person, but they're doing a really good job this year, working hard to make the virtual component worthy of your attendance. So check out these conferences. Info again will be in the view, and you can go back to this presentation and click on some of these links. It will be posted on the website, on the CHS website under counseling and then presentations. You can go back and check these out. Some really great opportunities. And then this is just a little video about the importance of learning now and neuroplasticity, and how much your brain is just primed for creating positive habits or negative habits. Something worth checking out. I don't know if we're going to have time today. We may or may not. How long is the video?
This is the last slide, and it's 2 minutes. Let's go.
Oh, perfect.
Here we go.
Not so long ago, many scientists believed that the brain did not change after childhood, that it was hardwired and fixed by the time we became adults. But recent advances in only the last decade now tell us that this is simply not true. The brain can and does change throughout our lives. It is adaptable, like plastic. Hence, neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity. How does neuroplasticity work? If you think of your brain as a dynamic, connected power grid, There are billions of pathways or roads lighting up every time you think, feel, or do something. Some of these roads are well travelled. These are our habits, our established ways of thinking, feeling, and doing. Every time we think in a certain way, practice a particular task, or feel a specific emotion, we strengthen this road. It becomes easier for our brains to travel this pathway. Say we think about something differently, learn a new task, or choose a different emotion. We start carving out a new road. If we keep travelling that road, our brains begin to use this pathway more, and this new way of thinking, feeling, or doing becomes second nature. The old pathway gets used less and weakens. This process of rewiring your brain by forming new connections and weakening old ones is neuroplasticity in action. The good news is that we all have the ability to learn and change by rewiring our brains. If you have ever changed a bad habit or thought about something differently, you have carved a new pathway in your brain and experienced neuroplasticity firsthand. With repeated and directed attention towards your desired change, you can rewire your brain.
So now it's a really great time for learning in general, but it's also a great time to learn healthy habits around life and learning and reaching out for support and self-advocacy, because these things are really actually going to stick. So please use that neuroplasticity that your brain is offering you and establish healthy habits. And this is our website to check out some more information. Mental health and wellness is on here. Again, those presentations that we have, that like this one will be on there. Academic planning and supports, and how to contact all of us. I think that's
Great.
it.
All right, friends, thank you all for coming. If you have questions, you know how to reach us. We look forward to helping you out any way we can.
Sounds great. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.